you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is I, Serenity Soul Invictus. Oh, what's up? I am so excited today to talk about this topic. I've been waiting for quite a while to do so, and you guys know I don't like to just talk about things that I have no personal experience with or don't know anything about. Like I said, experientially, like I want to experience certain things before I come to you guys with it. And that's why this is taking a little long, but today I'm talking about Lord Ganesha. We're talking about deity today, and it's Thursday, so this is the day we're going to get into that discussion. Um, for those of you who may or may not know, this channel, as above, so below, we deal with all of these things so esoteric in nature, such as the occult, such as magic, such as all of these things that people have hidden. But the age we're in is changing now. We're moving into where people actually are. The things that people have held in the darkness for so long now are being revealed. The veil is being lifted. All of this is happening. And so this is why we have this platform now, which I'm so thankful for. And thankful for all of you guys who are sharing in it with me, my new subbies, my old subbies. It's just an awesome feeling to be able to share with like-minded individuals. So I definitely appreciate you guys. That's why we always do this. When I start my videos, I'm just sending the love back and forth, reciprocating, this love energy, this conscious vibe. So today I'm talking about Ganesha. Today's Thursday. It's this Jupiter day. Okay. This is my image. This is my image of him. Trying to let the light reflect off of it. You see all those nice golden hues. I'm trying to paint it myself. I don't know if it's quite finished just yet because I want to put like a frame around it, put it in a frame or something. I could have printed this out, but I feel like I should not have to do that. If I'm so inclined to draw it, then draw it, because it gets you connected in a deeper, more personal sense. You get to actually understand all of his aspects. You get to memorize all of his aspects, or whatever that is you may be drawing, yourself, constructing, or whatever. It's better because it gives you a more personal connection. Of course, first, it's your hands that have done this. Second of all, you get to remember, like I said, all of his aspects and depictions. So today, Lord Ganesha, talking about it because he's known as the remover of obstacles. He's a god in the Hindu pantheon, son of Shiva and Parvati, goddess Parvati, Lord Shiva, the remover of obstacles and the bringer of new beginnings. Okay, Ganesha is I'm going to get into his description, but let me just find the information that I have that I've just put down here. His name, Ganesh, being like an angel, okay, Ganas, and Ganas are angels. So his name, Ganesha, he is actually the Lord of those light beings, the Lord of those angels, okay? So here's a quote that is from a website called Lotus Sculpture. It says, in heaven, Lord Ganesha will establish the predominance of gods on earth, that of people in the netherworld, that of serpents and anti-gods. Okay, now for those of you who may or may not know, if you're on this channel, then first of all, you either are of like mind or you are a lurker looking for some information to go and tote to somewhere else, wherever it may be. But if you're here, you're going to learn something. That's what I do. So I shed light on situations, on topics. So if you're going to look at it from a negative standpoint, you don't belong here. If you are looking at it in a light aspect, then welcome. Okay, namaste, like I always say. But when you look at it, people may or may not know, like I was about to say, what is the big deal about honoring these gods? All right, and God, I say with a small g, because it is like an aspect of God, even an aspect of ourselves in each of these deities. All right, so Ganesha is one of those, but who serves a high place because he is over these other gods. Okay, he's the remover of obstacles. He's also known to some as the bringer of obstacles. Because if you look at it in life, without obstacles, how do we elevate to the next level? How do we ascend the state that we are at now to another level? You know, we have no testimonies without tests. So in order for you to be tested, you need to have obstacles to face. There needs to be an obstacle. And when you pass that test, it shows that you have received and taken and utilizing the information and the wisdom and the guidance that you were seeking all along, that you know how to put it into practical use now. That's when you pass the test. So an obstacle is not always a bad thing. An obstacle is necessary, very much so, in order to take you to a higher level. If you're going up a flight of stairs, that other step can be seen as an obstacle because you have to climb up it. When you get up all 20 something steps, you've passed the test because you have ascended now. You've reached the top. You've reached the second floor. All right. So this thing about obstacles is not something to look at it in a negative light. It's a positive light to look at it in. But deities, the understanding of deities now in my book is because there's levels, just like I said about that flight of stairs, in ascending to our ultimate spirit, to the supreme spirit, okay, to God himself, the actual essence of the all, the creator God, okay, supreme. That was a lot of words. So now, Ganesha is one that opens that pathway, that is removing you from the obstacles that are keeping you stuck, keeping you in stagnation, keeping you at a level of dormancy. Okay? So you need to be able to look at Ganesha as that first line of defense then. All right? And there's a ladder in the spiritual realm. There's a ladder, you know. We have lesser beings, we have animals, we have smaller creatures, we have all of these things straight down from demons straight up to angels and gods, right? So then there's the ultimate. We are in between all of that. So in our ascending process, we have to actually pass through all of these tests, all of these obstacles to get to our higher point, to see our higher consciousness. Ganesha is that one that we go to for that purpose. All right, people all around the world, not just in India, he is of the Hindu pantheon, but people all around the world know and revere Lord Ganesha because he is, like I said, the remover of obstacles. He is the chief Gana. All right, so one of the things I want to mention about Ganesha, let me just keep on going. We're going to get into the description and all of that of him. He's chubby. Okay, he's heavy, he's round, he's fat, he's also got the head of an elephant. The elephant head is the first thing that you would recognize about Ganesha. Wherever you saw a depiction of him, you would recognize him by his elephant head, the one tusk, okay? The elephant story, there are many different stories about how he got this head, but the elephant, as you know, as we can imagine, an elephant is playful, an elephant is cheerful, an elephant remembers a lot, has a grand memory. You know, it is strong, it is wise, it is all of those things. So this is why in symbology these deities are represented in such ways, because the symbology means everything. Okay, when you look at certain deities, the depictions of them, people would say, oh, like it's flabbergasting, like, oh my gosh, this demonic idol worship, like what are they doing? What is that? Like, you know, you see like Kali standing on heads and stuff, wearing heads around the neck, like a choker, like a chain, like Gucci mane, like of heads. People will not understand that. But for those of us who understand, who are actually opening our minds and our consciousness to this understanding of these truths, totally get it. So the other depictions, like the other characteristics of Ganesha in his depictions are, you know, of him with, like I said, the elephant head. He's got the modakas in hand. Okay, those are those nice little sweet fruits that he likes to fill his chubby belly with. Okay, he's large, first of all, because they say that it's because he's taking on the whole universe, like he's able to carry the whole universe inside of him. Okay, that's a big task, that's a big responsibility. But then you also see in symbology, symbolically speaking, his vessel or his form of transportation is a little mouse. It's a little mouse, okay? Most people would not fathom how, like, they look at that picture, they'd be like, how does this make sense? But when you actually get deeper into the study of this, you understand that this mouse, think about a mouse in real life. Think about all the protective measures, okay, that people take in their homes to keep mouses out. All right. Think about the damage or the ability of a mouse to get into those places that you would never expect. You know, you tape up, you tape down, you lock up, you shut and nail down and everything, and the next morning you see grain on the ground because the mouse has gotten into it. The mouse has a way of getting into it. So this is also, symbolically speaking, one of the characteristics of Lord Ganesha, his ability to get in and cut through obstacles or those things that are difficulties or challenges in our lives, you know, in order to get you fed, okay? All right. Ganesha, like I said, remover of obstacles, bringer of new beginnings, okay? And his statues could be found most in India, of course, in Asia. People say a lot in Japan. Ganesha is like almost everywhere, believe it or not. So he's honored at the start of journeys, at the start of ventures, business ventures, whatever new journey or endeavor you're about to undertake. Ganesha is who is the Lord of those actual endeavors, okay? So even if you're going to do magical ceremony, even if you're going to do whatever it is that you're going to do, embark upon, Ganesha, it would be that deity that you would actually seek guidance from then, or invoke his traits and aspects. Statues, like I said, statues of Ganesha are all over the place. Like I said, some depictions are very different. You see him in some pictures, he's by himself. He's holding like the axe in one of his four hands. He's got four hands, okay? Lotus flower in one of those hands. The ladus or mudaka in one hand, okay? And the other hand is like that most of the time. But you would see in some pictures he's with his parents, Parvati and Shiva. In some pictures he's alone. In some pictures he's with his brother. Okay, I'm going to get to all of that soon. His appetite for sweets is legendary, and offerings are often left at his shrine. Okay, so the ladus is his treat of choice. Okay, those are those little pastry balls. So a lot of Indians like to use these as offerings in their rituals or on their altars or shrines for Ganesha, because it is said that he loves sweets. All right. Goads are typically used to direct elephants. Goads are symbolic of how one should steer the soul away from ignorance and illusions of the earthly world, just as Mahout would steer an elephant from any treacherous path. Okay, that's also very important, because now when you look at it, Ganesha's aspects and associations, he's associated with wealth, with removal of obstacles, with bringing wisdom and abundance and blessings and all of that. But at the same time, he also is this is a reminder to you that you want to remain humble. You do not want to be that person who is selfish, greedy, prideful, you know. Those are not good virtues to have, because remember now, when you talk about people with money, there are people who have an abundance of money. They are loaded with money, but they are still poor. Financially, they're rich, but they're poor up here and in here, because they have these same qualities that I'm talking about that are unpleasant, that are unfavorable: selfishness, greed, lust, pride, all of this. You know, they're boastful. They're just, you know, it doesn't make sense. So we don't want to become that person. You want to be able to ascend, you want to be able to succeed and prosper, but you don't want to become that person who people still look down upon as being poor in mentality. Because I know a lot of those people. You know, it sucks. So it's like, you may as well don't have it if you're going to be like that. In Hindi ideology, weapons are viewed as symbolic tools to destroy the ego rather than causing any type of bloodshed, okay? Ganesha's characteristic pot belly is usually bound around with a cobra. Okay, the cobra is an animal associated with Shiva and a reminder that Ganesha is his son. Ganesh is his son. There are a few stories talking about how Ganesha's birth took place. One of them was that, his mother just created him on her own when she was taking a bath, and she wanted privacy, and she just created him so that he could guard her and make sure nobody came in and saw her bathing, and that Shiva came in and cut his head off because he's like, who is this inside my woman's place? But that's just one of the bigger stories, one of the bigger myths about how Ganesha's birth came about. But Parvati was supposed to be angry after that. She was said to be angry, and because of this, Shiva had to go and find a head for her son, and they couldn't find any. So his army had to bring back. They found a young elephant's head, and they brought it back, and it was placed upon Ganesha's head, body as a head, and that's where he got the elephant head from. That's one of the stories. Okay, that's one of the main stories of how he came about. Okay, then there is another. The other is that he's actually birth of Lord Shiva and Parvati together, as a child is normally conceived. There are so many different actual depictions of Ganesha, and I want to make sure to include these pictures in this video today. Then also Ganesha's name literally means Lord of Gana. Okay, Ganesh was entrusted by Shiva with the leadership of the Ganas, Shiva's dwarfish, rowdy retinue, in compensation for the loss of his human head. Right, that's the one that I just finished mentioning. Okay. So on your altar now, talking about Ganesha, on your altar, people say that, of course, offerings should be made to Ganesha. Of course, incense, all of these elements that you always use on an altar, elements of earth, air, fire, water, you want also present, of course, on your altar. Offerings of water is definitely important. Incense representing air, the air element. People use stones, crystals, stuff like that to represent the earth. Okay, and of course the candle. The candle is fire, the fire element. The fire element is very important because it's like you're awakening now, you're summoning the energy of this presence, of this deity. All right. There are mantras that you can say for Ganesha. Among them, the main one I'm going to talk about this morning is the Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Ganapataye is another name for Ganesha, but this Gam is actually, this is the main mantra. Mantras are something that you actually is going to put you in that consciousness, in that conscious state of mind of whatever deity it is that you're calling upon for assistance or for guidance. All right. Looking now, there's so much information about Ganesha that I think I may have touched on everything so far, but there are so many other things. Okay. Coconuts are associated with Ganesha. When I went to talk about was this incense aspect. The incense, I definitely like to use things like sandalwood, pure incense, okay? Sandalwood is definitely among my favorites. I like frankincense and myrrh. I like sometimes jasmine, things like that, but you want to refrain from those incense that are like just basic sweet smelling scents is not going to do. I feel like I would like to use more pure incense because I've got one on my altar that I use a package. It's almost empty now because it's like one of those pure fragrance ones. Myrrh is another one that I like to use, but sandalwood is definitely one best for use with Ganesha. Ganesha, the Ganesha sound and the Ganesha mantra causes profound transformation, as is said by one particular website. His number's 3, associated with Jupiter. Okay. Let me just quote this here from the website. It says, he rearranges the 4-petaled lotus of the base center and also gives order to our life. This order generates in us a magnetism. Life expands and becomes glamorous. Before commencing any important activity, Ganesha's blessing is first called to perform the work in harmony and to end it in balance. The symbols, mantras, and rituals associated with Ganesha's help. Okay. Its symbol is the triangle, inside of a circle with a dot in the center. All right. In the more graphics form, it is the elephant head. When we think of Ganesha, we can imagine our own head functioning as an elephant's head. We imagine that by invocation, Ganesha settles in our heads with love and wisdom. All right. So that the day can proceed without disturbances. Love and wisdom never create obstacles. We can also visualize the shape of our head, ears, and backbone as the head and trunk of an elephant in radiant light. From the tip of the trunk to the head of the elephant, there's a buzzing sound. The sound is called Hastinada, the voice of the elephant. He is born out of himself and on coming out of the absolute, and is also called We know this to be one of the most powerful sounds, okay? The sound of silence. We contemplate him in the base center. From here, he comes forth and moves up through all of the etheric centers. The base center, like I said before, being your root chakra, okay? He removes the blockages that we have in our bodies. The sounds then reach the ajna, and there is enlightenment. We can visualize our head as a sphere of light and our ears as big etheric ears. The light ball stands on a pillar of light. The spine, a faint sound comes out of the base of our spine and moves up like a snake. Like we said, the serpent is associated with Ganesha's father, Lord Shiva. Okay? A Kundalini awakening and energy. Master Jupiter, okay? As a cosmic Jupiter intelligence, Ganesha acts in our solar system with the triangular force of Neptune, Mercury, and Jupiter. On our planet, he is present as Master Jupiter. He is the avatar of the synthesis that governs the Aquarian age. I gotta do a video on this, you guys, the new age that we're actually approaching. Okay, in the Vedic tradition, he is the great sage Agastya and has his place of residence on the Sirius planet. Okay, Sirius. The place from which he works on Earth is the Nilagiri Mountains, the Blue Mountains in southern India. Ganesha is regent of the second ray of love wisdom and the teacher of all levels. So Agastya, or Master Jupiter, has taken on the role of guru and the teacher of our system. It gets very deep, you guys, so I'm probably going to do another part to this. If you are embarking on anything, I would recommend that you work with this deity, Ganesha. It's going to actually, I think, open your eyes to understanding deity as a whole, and moving into other deity who have particular similar aspects. Origins. So anything that is dealing with education, wisdom, and wealth, you'd want to work with Lord Ganesha for. But this is the reason why I feel like I've been drawn to these particular deity is because of my connection to them, naturally speaking. So when you are looking for a deity to work with, you want to actually work with the things that you know, the deities that represent the things that you know you are actually good at, the things that you actually would like to see become better at, the things that are naturally within you to do. And then you can explore from there and see other things unfold for you and move into work with other deity. So whatever I do, I always include Supreme. I always include God. It's no way that I can revere a creation alone, you know. So that's something that I would like to advise you guys as well of. People may look at it and say, well, you know, you have no idea what you're talking about, or why are you doing this? This is worshiping idols. This is all of the stuff. But I don't. I believe differently. I believe that everything that they have been hiding from us now is being revealed, and I believe that these are the very things that these people do and understand and work with themselves who hide it from us. So, with that being said, I ask you guys to go and do your own research on the deities, whatever it is that you feel so inclined to work with. Go and do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. I like to work with the things myself so that I have a working understanding of what I'm talking about. But I would urge you to go and do your own studies, to study to show yourself approved, because no man's words, no woman's words can be taken for at 100% truth if you don't go and seek that truth for yourself. You know, how would you know what to compare it to? How would you know otherwise, other than you actually going and doing the work yourself? You know, researching, making sense of things, making a connection of these things. This is why a lot of us look at church as a stepping stone. Church is something that allows you to open your mind to the esoteric, allows you to open your understanding to these stories and parables and symbols. And the Bible is, a lot of us take it so literally. It's a lot of symbology in there that we have to understand. If we look at it in a symbolic sense, we would be living our lives a whole lot differently. So I'm not saying that I'm not saying I don't believe in the Bible. I'm just saying that we take it so, we skew its meaning so much with our own personal thoughts and feelings and emotions and judgments and criticisms and all of those stuff, that we miss the message a lot of the time. So don't worry about the messenger. Find the message, all right? And we have to be the change that we wish to see in the world. So with that being said, guys, I'm outie. And I thank you for watching this video today. My mouth is parched, but I'm gonna go, and I hope you guys are excited as I am, about working with this deity. And if you are, if you have been, I would love to see your experience in the comments below. I would love for you to hit like, definitely, on this video, and subscribe to my channel. To my new subbies, my old subbies, you guys are amazing. I'm so appreciative that we have this platform to share this kind of knowledge and wisdom on. So until I come back with another great topic, you guys, peace and love. Blessed be. Namaste.